Hey guys, let's talk about these things. Gift cards. Do you know, I kid you not, every year, 5 billion worth of gift cards are just gone, off the poof, gone, disappeared. So for today, we're going to talk about gift cards, what they're about, how they work, and how we suffer. So how me and you suffer from this. So if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Patrick Enning. I'm the CEO of Oruka Money. Oruka is a smart payment ring. So that means you can tap to make payments with your card, okay? Or you're sorry, you can tap to make payments with your ring. So you just go into a machine, you tap, you make your payment, done. But wait, you can also tap to receive payments. So generally, I think we have a lot of POS terminals, beauticians who are currently with us. And what they do then is they go ahead and they actually use their rings to receive payments. Same thing as well. We have a lot of customers that actually tap their rings to make payments. So that's why I am anyway. So I am independent in the sense that we're a fintech, so we have no alliance with any gift card provider. We have no alliance with any banks. We work with all banks for the benefit of our customers because your ring is attached to your credit card, is attached to a bank. So we just want to make sure we have convenience for our customers. Okay, so that being said, I think today I want to talk about gift cards, how it works, okay, and how generally customers suffer. By the way, this is not again nothing against people who love to gift. Okay, if you're giving a ring out, sorry, if you're giving a card out, if you're giving a gift card to Amazon, I think I showed yeah, so I've got an Amazon gift card here, which I think I've got like $100 on that, £100 on that. Okay. So here's the point. When you give these things, a piece of paper is worthless. Okay. You can be scammed, okay, with this. Amazon could default tomorrow, okay, and there's nothing you've got against them. It's just a piece of paper. So that's something people are worried about. So I think that's something I would like to talk about. People talk about what's the best gift card to go for. Okay, this is not for that. In fact, I'm saying that you should not even give any gift cards at all. If you have a friend or a colleague or family member who's just so particular about your pizza store down the corner or your bakery down the corner, I have nothing against that. I think you should definitely give a gift for that so they can go ahead and use that shop because that's what they want to do. Okay, so I keep looking at my machine here because I'm at work. Okay, so I'm actually working for my customers here. If there's any query that comes through, I want to be able to know straight on. Um, but the point that I'm trying to make here is the fact that if you have a gift card for your colleague that you love or your family member that you love, that's okay. I've got nothing against that. However, the problem I have is if you go ahead and I'm not going to call it lazy, but if you just go to the store and say, "Oh wait, I know he likes Amazon. I don't want to pick a shop. I don't want to pick something from Amazon. I'm just going to give them a card to spend on Amazon." Okay, that's what I want to talk about here, which is one, I think you should go the extra effort. I think you should go ahead and spend that money at Amazon and give that away. Okay. And why? Because you're being scammed with this piece of paper. Okay. This piece of paper from Apple. Okay. I'll talk about how that works. So when you go ahead, if you think about it, if you've got $1,000, okay, in your pocket and you like to give it to someone you love, when you give that person $1,000, right now, the person uses the money. But if you give that person, in quote, a gift card for Apple, I think this is an Apple one, yes. If you give them an Apple gift card for $1,000, for example, what you're doing then is you're just giving that money to Apple, not to that person. Because if Apple goes down tomorrow, it's gone. Okay. Here's the other important point. If you gave that person $1,000, that person, okay, can invest $1,000 and then go ahead and spend that money in Apple when they want to do it. No, but what you're doing is you're giving Apple the money. So when you buy this gift card, you're giving Apple pure cash, not a gift card, not a piece of paper. You're giving Apple pure cash. Apple goes ahead and invests that money in the stock market, invest that money on some other stock, make money on it. Okay, until that person actually invests that money, which to me I think is a problem, and that's what we need to realize that we're doing. Okay, and that's why I have an issue with gift cards, and I'll continue to have an issue with gift cards. And there's a list of scams on it. Okay, let's call them legalized scams. I think this is one of the highest. Is legalized as much as lottery. So lottery is legalized because For some reason, if you invest money in a lottery, if you spend your money, and it's always the poor people who spend money on lottery, what happens? The government actually taxes you on that. If the government is taxing you on that, that means it's legal. If it's legal and you're taxing a poor person, that's a problem, right? So that's the same thing with this as well. So you're given a gift card, okay, and then somehow it's legal because it's not seen as money, but it's money because you're giving the money to Apple. It's pure money, it's pure cash you're giving to Apple. Oh wait, and these things have the expiry date. So if you have an expiry date of 1 year, that means in 1 year time it's gone. The pure cash you give to that person, if that person does not spend that money in 1 year, it's gone. What do you call that if not robbery? Yeah. So that's the point I'm trying to make here. Okay. We need to look at objectively what we are doing here. Okay. And just get out of the mindset of the fact that we're giving something away as a gift. Yes, you are. But importantly, who's benefiting from that? When you give me an Apple gift card, if you give this to someone you love, that person is constrained by Apple. The person has to go to Apple. They can't go to any of them. In fact, hold on. If you see this is in pound sterling, okay, so that means they can't go up to Apple in the US to use it. They can't go to Apple in France to use it. It has to be in Apple in the UK. That's a punishment on that person. Unless you know the person is definitely not going to move and the person loves Apple. That's okay. But here's the point. If you really know the person loves Apple, put the money in your pocket. Right? There's what's called, a return on investment, okay, an opportunity cost. So what that means is if you had $1,000 in your pocket, you'll be earning money. But if you give that money to Apple on a piece of paper, that's all this is, a piece of paper, what happens then? Apple invests that money and they make that money. Not the person you love, not the person you're gifting, but Apple themselves. So Apple makes money on that, and then you lose money as a result. So there's I'm going to call it a zero-sum game because one person loses, one person gains. That's zero. So it nets out to zero. Yeah, so it's a zero-sum game. Okay, guys. So please be careful, and I really want to make sure that hey, we know this. Okay. Now let's talk about the history of this, right? So where did investment coming from, right? Or where did the whole history on Apple coming from? So Apple started coming in, I think, about the 1990s. I think I have some numbers here. So the 1990s, the gift card we used to have then was called, I think it was called Apple Pay. And it's usually a gift card where it's just go in and you just use the money and that was it. Okay. And it was really small. Okay. It was usually a small store that they go in and use this money, which was okay. And but what's happened now is the big shops, the usual big boys, right? Gifts, they call themselves Gift for All, Apple Pay, Amazon, all these guys kind of realize, hey, we have a lot of customers that we can use this against. Around the 2000 and I think 2000s and 2001, these guys started using this, and it's a big store. If you go to any store beside you right now, go towards the till point, you're going to see a lot of the gift cards there, and I'm going to repeat the same thing as well, which I've said. Don't look at things like Roblox. I like Roblox, I like game store. So if you have a game store, then you know that person is definitely going to love a game. Okay. And that's very niche. That's very different. What I'm talking about is generic stores like Gift for All, One for All cards, Amazon, Starbucks, iTunes, things like that. Those gift cards expire. Those gift cards are money to the corporations. Let's talk some stats here. So it's not like I'm just making this thing up. I'll call them the bank of Starbucks. So as of 2024, okay, Amazon had 1.85 billion with a B, 1.85 billion in terms of store value that people just had, that just gave them in cash and say, hey, there's $1,000. Just use this, hold it, okay? I don't know if the person I love is going to redeem it, but just hold the cash. You can, they might use it to buy, in this case, they can use it to buy a laptop, okay, or a MacBook or an iTunes, okay? That's fine. But in truth, they might not use it for a while. In general, I can tell if you give a gift card to someone, person doesn't use it for months. And think about the percentage cost that goes to Starbucks. Talk about H&M. H&M had 4.37 million, okay, which went to them as well. And before that, they had paid 36 million the year before. This is just the last quarter. Then we talked about bankruptcy as well, which happens. So gift card holders are always left stranded. So if any of these guys go down, they're left stranded. Okay. And this is all, again, it started around, I think in 2000, I said this already, with Mark Stripe. So Mark Stripe started this in the 1990s. And they came up with this idea where, hey, they're going to give a gift card, a gift certificate to people, and people could use it. And suddenly the gift certificates, which was only for that store, now became what's called a gift card, which is a bit, you know, if you ask me, it's a bit deceiving because they're not really cards. They ship them like credit cards, and then they also give a number. Okay, and that number is linked to the credit which you can redeem. But in truth, it's not really cash. You can't claim that's cash. And if they go down, there's nothing against creditors. And on the creditor line, you're very, very low in terms of where you stand. So, guys, please, please be careful with this. If you love someone, please give them what you want to give them. Okay. And if you really, really, really want to give them a gift card, make sure it's for a very small store and something they love. Don't gift them one of these scams. Because to me, I'm going to argue again, these are scams. And there's free money to Apple. If you think Apple are not making enough money, I think you should give them this, by the way. So I'm going to be clear. If you think Amazon, if you love Amazon, you work for Amazon, and then you want to give them, I think this is £100, £100 on this one. If you want to give them £100, please, go ahead and buy it. However, if you don't want to give them that, which I think most people don't want to, you really want to give people you love, then make sure you wait, okay, and buy them something they cherish, okay. And if for some reason they really want the Amazon store, or they want a gift card, take them there and buy it for them. If you go there and buy something for them online, then that cash is redeemed immediately. There's a difference. So here's the point. If you go ahead and you pay $1,000 or whatever, right? If you pay $1,000 to Amazon and they ship the product, that's it. It's done. They've realized the profit. But if you give $1,000 to Amazon on a gift card, it goes into a separate account, and that separate account earns interest until the person redeems it. If the person redeems it the next day, perfect. But then that's one day. They've gotten interest on that. Okay, but if they don't redeem immediately, which is always the case, I'm going to go into statistics on this. Don't redeem immediately, that's a problem. Let's talk about what the percentage is of that. Okay, so here's the point. Okay, in terms of what happens, 10%. I kid you not, 10% of cards are left unused in the last year, and that's the low entrance. So the minimum 10% and the maximum amount we've seen so far over the last few years has been 20%. So what that means, if you have, if you give away a gift card, 1 in 5 chance that person is going to lose that card or it's not going to be redeemed. That means 1 in 5 chances you're going to give that money for free to the company. Think about it for a minute. Yeah, we're getting into holiday seasons. It's coming up now. And that's why I'm bringing this over and over again. I'm so unhappy with this. And again, I have nothing against small stores. If you're a small store and you give away gift cards, that's okay. I really want you to do that. And that's a way to make money. And it's a way to bring customers and make sure customers also return to that store. But what you don't want to do is take someone straight away to any of the big boys. Amazon, I'm going to say it again, Amazon, iTunes, there's a lot of them. Walmart also have their cards as well. All those cards, 1 in 5 chance they're going to go missing. Compared to a small store, your local bakery down the corner, that person 9 times out of 10 will go there because it's local and it's around the corner. You must know that they love it. Okay. On the other hand, if it's a big store, that is going to sit in the corner. What's the chances of that? 20%. Between 10 to 20%, but the high end is 20%. So there's a highly likelihood that they will lose that card. Okay, so guys, that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to try and take it easy, catch some breath, get back to work. But I really want to make sure that we make it clear and we know the risk associated with this. With gift cards, your loss is the company's gain. And when you think you're giving money away or giving money to the people you love, you're giving these guys money. They're taking the money, they're keeping it on the books, and at the end of the day, it goes missing. It's in their books. If it doesn't go missing, they've made enough money between when you give that card away to when the person actually spends that money. Okay, and I'll make it even better as well. If the person spends more, that's free advert for them as well, which is what they want. And they didn't pay you for that, mind you. Okay, so be careful with that. And again, keep it safe. If you want to worry about, proper gifting, I would suggest, and if you ask me, I would suggest you give them a ring because that's more personable. Okay, the person can top up this ring and use it. It doesn't expire. And if they use it and they finish it, they can top it up again. It's more personable. They can use a MasterCard card. So MasterCard also, depending on the country you're in, but MasterCard also has a payment, a gift card. And that's a gift card because it's from MasterCard. Visa also have a gift card. Visa have a gift card, which is a real gift card because it's from Visa. Okay, and what happens with those cards is you can top up money and you give it to people you love, and they can use it in any store. There's no limitation. With this, you can only use it on Amazon. You're not going to take this card to, to Starbucks. Starbucks are going to laugh you out of there, right? You can only use it on Amazon, and it gets worse because you can only use it on Amazon in the UK. You can't use it on Amazon in Ireland or in France, okay, or in the US. They will laugh you out of there as well. So my point is the limitation just doesn't make any sense for this piece of paper that is worthless, okay, unless you sell it. And let's not talk about selling. I'll have a new video on that one because I don't want this video to be too long. I need to get back to work. But in truth, please, guys, be careful, stay safe, be smart, don't believe what you hear out there. Focus on you, yourself, and the people you love. Take care. Bye.